So second one, Hebrew word for money, it means accounting. Now, we just shared like this one, you probably don't get to till after you start selling. But once immediately you start selling and you start building your business, it may even come before that. You have to give an accounting of how much capital you have and where you're at financially, right? But once you start selling, you have to keep a good accounting of your margins. You have to have a good idea, especially as an Amazon business, on what products you're selling. I can't tell you how many people, Nate, I've met who are selling products and they don't even know it, but they're actually losing money. They think they're making money, but then when they add up all the fees, all the inbound shipping to Amazon, they actually end up losing a couple of dollars when they thought they were making 5 to 6, right? Because they're not very good at the Hebrew definition for money, which means accounting. So I think what we've learned in our business is you really have to measure your achievements. And in thinking about this, think about John Rockefeller, who I believe was an accountant. And at the time, he was the wealthiest person in the world. What did he do? He kept amazing books, right? Down to the last dime. Now, that may be a little extravagant. However, he was the wealthiest man in the world, right? So that may have meant that he had to take extravagant measures. But a lot of times folks in business aren't good at record keeping, and there's no accountability, right, for their money, no accountability for their time. And it's important, right, that we keep good records, that we set aside time every week. And we do this in our business where we have very detailed records of our accounting, right, for the time, for the products. And I think it's also important that you account for your achievements. And so, one thing that we've done in our business, you absolutely need to do in your business is you need to set goals. When you reach those goals, right, you need to celebrate it, but you need to set those goals super high because that's going to push you to reach those goals that may seem unattainable.
Yeah, and to be fair, some people are more naturally gifted or inclined towards this type of accounting. Like Rockefeller, I think he was around 12 years old. He had this ledger. Literally at that age, he was recording every single thing. Some of it's out of necessity. He was basically the man of the house. He had to take care of everything. So he couldn't be flippant with his money at any time. He was basically leading the home, and he helped build their house, I think, at 13 or 14. And so some people are gifted towards that. So if you're not, I think you just have to recognize this. And, something I appreciate so much about Gary Ray's coaching and the Tribe coaching is he definitely emphasizes this. He makes it a huge priority. He's a master at Inventory Lab and helping sellers come in and put in all of the necessary relevant expenses into Inventory Lab and not just guess at what your profits are, but to truly dial it all the way down to the true net profit each month. And I think that's important. Now, one caveat to that is that when you're first starting, you just need to sell, right, Andy? I mean, you're good at this, starting a new business, starting a new brand. And it's like, man, we can worry about all the accounting you want, but if you have $0 of revenue, it really doesn't matter. Like, you're not going to do very well. So until you hit a certain level, in any business, you definitely just need to focus on selling good. You can't be losing money, of course, but you have to. You could even. That's what venture-backed type capital is for, right? Businesses that do lose money in the beginning. Most sellers, though, are you try not to lose money, but you just got to sell. Probably until you hit the $1 million mark, you just got to be focused on selling with decent margins. But at certain levels of your business, you do have to take this more serious, hire people in. We recently hired in, Steve, he's very good at this. So he's helping us. Another book I would recommend if you are kind of in between this different stages of business, 1 million to 10 million, is called Ready, Fire, Aim. And it breaks down different business stage growth and how you might want to look at hiring people and formatting your business. But either way, accounting can definitely make or break a business, like you said.
Awesome. Yeah. So first one is specialization. I think, again, looking at our Amazon business, we've been able to find our niche. We've been able to specialize. So many times people start businesses. So if you're listening to this podcast, you haven't started selling on Amazon yet. Think back, how many businesses have you started? And then you get the shiny object syndrome and you move on to something else. So when you do start a business, right, you have to give it time. You have to be able to become a master at that specialization. And I think we see that oftentimes, right, Nate, with Amazon sellers, the folks that come in and they stay with it and they keep hungry, they keep learning, they end up becoming $1 million sellers. Whereas we've had a lot of other folks that have come in and they quit after 2 or 3 3 months and say, this is not for me. Well, you didn't give it time yet for your specialization. Second thing is you got to be able to keep good accounting. That is business 101, right? You have to know if you're making money or if you're losing money.